We're doing this interview in Jamaica. My mom, when she came over here, she was walking around with no shoes on. As I said, she's a diabetic. From 70 feet up, I jumped next to a pipe. It's like someone take me out my room and put me right downstairs on my feet. She never died right away, but all it might do what she should have do, open her window and go through the window at the back. And that box cost her life, my sister's life. It was a sad day that for me.
Where did it all begin?
In 1964.
You was born in 1964?
No, I was born in 1951
Where?
in Jamaica, in a place called Moors in Rock River,
Rock River. What parish?
in Clarendon.
Clarendon. Alright. Can you remember the early days as a young man?
I can remember the early days when I leave from Clarendon. I went to St. Catherine to live with my grandparents. And that was a place called Connors.
Connors in St. Catherine.
In St. Catherine, yes.
Can't you remember the age? What age were you?
I think I was about, well, no, I can't remember the age, but I can't remember the age. But I know after I went to live with my grandmother, then my grandmother gave me away to my auntie. So I lived with my auntie from, I would say about 9, from the age of 9 till about 13 when I leave the West Indies.
We're not pushing it so far. So, can you remember school in Jamaica? Going to school?
I don't think I just spent a lot of time going to school because when I was a kid back home as a young, to me, what was interesting mostly is the goat and the cow. I have to tie out the goat. And many times when I reached to school, my auntie used to call me. You remember my auntie calling me back and say, "You forget to tie out the goat and the cow." And by the time I have to turn back to go back to, tie the goat and get back to school, the next thing I know, the teacher was, and I was going around the school, a place called Gingerage School in Connors. And I always remember this. He always said, "We are the late comers because we turn up to school late."
Yeah.
But yeah, away from that, yeah, it was all right. I remember Christmas and all those times was a happy time for me when I was younger.
All right, Christmas time.
Yeah, Christmas. Because he used to get a big Christmas tree into the school and they always used to have a load of presents. I remember that.
Yeah.
And everyone could go and pick something from underneath the tree.
Okay.
So I remember that.
Did your mom and dad went to England or what?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I did not know my mother or father until when I reached England. Because I said they gave us to our grandparents. They gave us to the grandparents, and then, as I said, the grandparents, my grandma gave me to my auntie, so I would say my auntie raised me until when I leave Jamaica in 1964, at the age of 13, when I leave Jamaica. And then
So who sent for you?
my parents, my mom and dad.
So they left before you recognized them, you say?
Yes, I did not know any of them until when I reached to England.
So, did you used to write to you or anything like that?
Well, let's say they used to write to my auntie and my grandmother, but no, I can't remember my mother ever write anything to me, no.
I can't. About them stories?
I heard about the story, about they used to send present.
Yes.
Used to send like Christmas present for us. whether we get it or not, but I know my mom used to send presents for us and things like that.
Alright, presents. Like, can you remember anything?
Yeah, she used to send us like shoes and clothes, you know, and things like that. We used to get things like, and they used to send us money and all.
Okay.
Only one thing, when they send the money, we never seem to get the money. The parent, my auntie or my grandmother, you know, they usually keep it.
Before you reach England now,
Yeah.
can you remember that you was going to come to England? Like someone say that your parents were sending for you. Can you remember anything like that?
I remember when I used to have to go to Kingston to take my papers out, and my auntie used to take me. So I think I did have an idea that my parents were sending for me.
What age was that? You think?
I think between 12 to 13, because I say I left there when I was 13.
Okay.
So
you taking out papers and that.
yeah.
Right. What was the thought of England before you reached England?
Well, let's say when I realized I was coming over here, I was very glad. But I can't say I thought of what it would be like, because I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, but I know I was coming here to meet my parents, so I cannot say what it would be like
Yeah.
until when I come over here. Then I see the difference between over there and in Jamaica.
Alright. Then, the day of traveling.
The day of traveling in 1964, I think it was about in December 1964. We came over on at the time a BOAC plane.
Oh, Europe, yeah.
We fly from Kingston to Manchester Airport, and at the time it was only Manchester Airport, just small. It was a very small airport at the time, but now you can see how big it is now. You know.
Traveling. Can you remember traveling on the airplane first time?
I remember getting on the plane,
Yeah.
but you know, it's like ordinary plane, going on ordinary plane. You know, you sit down on the food, just the same. Yeah.
By yourself?
No, it wasn't. I came with my brother and my sister.
Let's
It was-
go. How many brothers and sisters you got?
At the time, I did have I came over with one brother and one sister.
Was any left behind in Jamaica?
No, no. It's only my next one sister I've got left that's staying in Jamaica. She only traveled on holiday, but she never really traveled to live over there. I don't know why the family left her out, but she was the only one that never traveled out of five of us.
Older sister?
No, she's the one after me,
Okay.
and at the moment it's only us two left.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Reaching down in Manchester Airport, who came for you at the airport?
My dad come and pick us up from there.
Or did you recognize the dad?
Well, we also, a lady came out with us.
Okay,
A adult lady come with us. So my mom sent a lady from over here. I don't know if she was a family or not, but I know a lady came for us, and she came with me, my brother, and my sister. And so my dad know who she was. So that was it. Yeah.
What was your thought of your dad at the time? Did you have pictures of him before and see what he looked like or what?
No, I did not have no picture of him. I didn't have nothing of my dad until when I came over here. I didn't even know what he looked like.
So when he came up at the airport for you, what was it like?
All we do was just grab a big hug, you know. At the time, I just said I was 13 years of age, so we did a big hug. And it's when we go back home now, then when I saw my mom, that's when I first know what my mom looked like.
Oh, you didn't know?
I did not know my mom. I did not know what my mom looked like.
Your other
no.
brothers as well, same thing?
I can't say whether, because he was older than me, so I can't say whether he did know my mom before. But I'm certain my younger sister, the last one, I don't think she can remember who my mom was.
Wow.
You know.
So what did you thought of England coming down on it? Driving
Well,
down to the
as I said before, when I first saw all these houses, I thought it was factories,
yeah.
right? Until when I go inside of the houses, then I realized how nice inside look, because my mom's house was nice inside. So that's when I really realized what it's like with the houses over here. But it was very cold.
Wow.
You know, I mean, the 1960 was very, very, very cold. I mean, cold, you just,
Can you remember the month you came?
December. And December was very cold.
Yeah.
Foggy. It was fog and all those kind of a thing. And don't forget, well, at the time I did not know, because November was bonfire night, and you know in them days when bonfire night, the 5th of November, they usually, and after bonfire night, every place fog. And then they used to have like a coal fire in them days. Well, nowadays, you know, they've got loads of central heating now. They don't give out all them bad smoke anymore. You know, so that's what it was like in them days. When I was a kid, you know, as I said, I used to have to tie out goat and do this and do that, carry fresh water. Nowadays it's easy now because there's pipe, but in my days there was no pipe with no water. You have to go to the stream and carry the water on top of your head and things like that. Well, a lot of people might say, but I know that's what I used to do when I was a kid, to go to the river to collect the water and to take it home. But so that's why I said, in a way, I was glad to get away from that thing. Because when I go over there in England, everything was already in the house. Away from the toilet was outside. The toilet was outside. Nowadays, everything inside, innit?
What, that's in England? That's how it was
Yeah, the toilet, when we came, the toilet was outside. If you want to use the toilet, you've got to go outside to use the toilet. There was no toilet in my mother's house, but there was outside, next to the house. You don't have to walk very far, but the toilet was there. Yeah.
Going to school in the UK.
Yeah, I went to a school on Stretford Road called Old Trafford Secondary Boys School.
This in Manchester?
Yeah, it's Manchester, yes. Off Stretford Road, near Manchester United football ground. Yeah, I think it's still there. I'm not so certain, but I think it's still there, that school. I could be wrong. Yeah,
So
his school was a happy school when I go there, because she even was, you know, some of the teachers. I think some of the teachers at the time when I came over, was, to me anyway, I think she even one teacher particularly, I think he was a bit biased. I don't know why, but he used to say to us, with all the black kids that was at the school at the time, and sometimes he's on the pulpit, you know. I used to take assembly in the morning, and he used to beat on the pulpit like that, and he said, all you want to hear our voice instead of hearing him knocking on the pulpit, right? And sometimes, to be honest, you know, sometimes we laugh, right? And some of the black kids, and sometimes you hear him go mad on stage, and sometimes he used to say, oh, you black kids, you've got chips on your shoulders.
Wow.
You know, I remember that particularly. That's what he used to say. I know his name, but I won't mention his name because he's not around now. I think he must be passed away. Yeah.
Yeah, was there lots of black kids in this school?
Yeah, there was quite a few of them there. Not in the same class, but quite a few of them there, you know. And some of them turned out famous because some of them was in the Street Sensation.
Okay.
You know, the band. Yeah, so some of them turned out, even when you think that we wouldn't turn to anything, some of them did make it famous, you know.
Yeah. While you was at the bakery, where were you living?
I was living in Moss Side
With who?
with my mom and dad at 40 Meadow Street, Moss Side. I was living.
Yeah, you was living at the time and was happy?
Yeah, I was happy because my mom had a great big house there, you know.
What size house?
A big, very big house, because you got like upstairs, you got very attic, you got the attic, you know, and I used to be all the way up in the attic. And my mom and dad lived downstairs in the middle. My uncle lived in the center, and there was a lady who lived there as well, who lived in the house, because when my mom bought the house, she was already there, so my mom tell her she can stay there because she was getting ready to come home to Jamaica. she was packing up her bag to come home, and that's at the time when it.
Were your brother and sister living with you as well?
Yeah, my brother and sister. Yes, we all was living there.
All together?
Yeah, but I think I was about 19, 20 at the time when you up the fire.
What fire are we talking about now?
Right, the fire in 1972, there was a fire at Meadow Street, where the house catch fire, where the five people lost their life there at the same time.
And these are some of the people you just mentioned before who live in the house?
Yeah, some of the people that was living in the house, yeah.
Can you remember the fire, like the building?
Yeah, I remember the fire.
Go on.
And I was 70 feet up into the attic.
Yeah.
My dad was living right downstairs at the back room, and my brother was in the front room. And a lady on the second floor, a lady, the one I said that was packing up her bag to come home. And then the next, a bit further up, because it was a very big house, my uncle and her children used to live there. But somehow my mom and my uncle did already leave for work. So they was in the house at the time when the fire started. I don't know how the fire started, but after a while, when the police then investigate, I think they said that it was a perforating heater that blew up or something that caused the fire. Because in the morning after everything died down, if you go to the back, there was a perforating heater at the back. And I think it's when my brother come in, because we used to go out partying at that time, you know, you're only 19 years of age. You know, you're young, so we go partying, and I think it's when he come home from work, and he used to be, as I say, he used to call in them days, and we used to light the perforating heater. And I think the lady that was going home, I said she was going home with that big box. There was a big box in the road, and when I came home from work the night before, I said to my dad, I said to my mom, that box is in the way, you know, you've got to shift it. So the lady said, oh, she can't shift because it's her box, she's packing in the box to go home, and she got nowhere to put it. So anyway, I said when my dad come from work the same evening, it was on a Wednesday night when we come from work, I remember, because the house got burned down the Thursday morning. Yeah. And I said to my dad, and my dad went to the lady and he said to her, she got to, and she start a big argument. So my dad said to her, okay, leave it. And that box cost her life, my sister life, my uncle 2 children life, and my sister son life. 5 people that box, because she would not listen to move the box, because in them days the walk passage was dead narrow, and you have a big box, right? Until you walk straight, you have to walk sideways. Right? And I think when my brother, that's only what I assume, I think when my brother come from work the night, no, when he come from partying and he was walking through, he come home and I think he light the perfume heater, and he tried to get the perfume must blow upon him, like, you know, because when we come from work, there was a plate with all electric fuse, and we used to hang our coat up on the wall. And I think instead of him, he couldn't go to open the front door to throw that perfume heater when they blow upon him. So he have to go the long way around. He got to go through the kitchen, and that's where the coat was. So might be the coat they catch fire. Yeah. And then with him being dozy, you know, coming in late, and he go back in the front room and start asleep, and then they might catch fire, I don't know. That's my yeah. So I know, all I remember when they go in the backyard, that's where the perfume heater was.
Before you go into the backyard.
Yeah.
And was that morning? Is it a Thursday morning? The fire.
It was a Thursday morning when he.
Yeah. What can you remember waking up?
I can hear a big explosion, and I couldn't come through my front. As I said, I was 70 feet up in the attic. Yeah. I couldn't go through my door. Yeah. But what I did, right, I just said I was young and fit then. I opened my window next door, and I jumped on my next door. From 70 feet up, I jumped next door pipe. It's like someone take me out my room and put me right downstairs on my feet. I never ever get hurt, but all my clothes and everything got burned.
So was smoke coming through, I think?
Well, I must have been asleep. Yeah. Because after the fire, right, after everything died down, you could stay downstairs in the bottom and look straight up, right up to where my room, and there was nothing there to hold it. So if I'd ever get out the time I did, might be the fire, I would have fallen right through it.
You were 19. What can you remember coming downstairs? Did you go back in to help anyone? What happened?
I remember I showed to my sister and said to my sister, hang on, I try and get down, and then I try and climb up through her window at the back when I get downstairs, because I couldn't go through my door. The fire was already there. So that means that house must have been burning a while for it to reach that far that no one could go down the stairs. Right, because that lady, as I tell you, she was on the second floor. Right? And she never died right away, but all it might be what she should have do, open her window and go through the window at the back. But with her age, she never thinks she opened her front door, and all that flame and her face and her head. Oh, you should have. Oh,
you saw her body?
Well, she never died. She died a couple of days after, with her face swollen up. You know, when I went to look for her in hospital, you know, her face was swollen up. But at her age, with the smoke, when she opened the door, the flame come right in on her, you see. But all she did have to do, leave her doors open, closed, and open her back window and just try and, but as I say, at her age, maybe she couldn't do it. And when I reached downstairs, I remember this particularly, that's when I see my dad. He died through, he's on the ground floor, he died through the glass. To get out of the fireway, but he never come through. If my daddy opened his door, might be the same thing with all the flame. Open the door up, or he come through his wind. So that means the fire must have been already getting him in there. So he just dived through the glass. If he just dived through the glass, and when I went downstairs and I go around, you can't go around and have a look at my sister's window, where I said shout to her, but I never hear no one answer me. I shout to her and I said I try and get down and come up, and when I reach downstairs and look up, and nowadays I could see the fire already at the window. So it's nothing I could do.
So you know that your sister was in it?
I know, because I know every morning when my uncle go to work, the two kids always run up to her, you know. Because she was about 15, 16 at the time.
And the uncle kids all were?
There was only, might be 9 or might be even younger. I cannot remember how old they was. But I know they was very young. I don't think none of them was 10 yet. None of them was 10. My sister's son might be about 10 at the time, but I can't swear on it. Yeah, so it was a sad day that for me.
Oh, you remember everything about that day. What about your mom when she came back home?
Oh, my mom was, you would have to, my mom was she was dead sad. She was dead sad, my mom. You know, to lose all her grandchildren and one of her daughter, you know. And yet my brother, he never get a scratch. Not even a scratch he never get, my brother.
So where were you? Where was the brother?
He was in the front room. And yet
when you're outside looking at the...
Well, I didn't see my brother because we was at the back. Yeah. But might be after the fire he might have opened the door and get out at the front. I don't know, but I can't remember seeing him come through the back. But no, I've seen my dad drive through his glass window, right? I get out my room, like jump on my next door pipe, like if someone just take me from my room, jump on the pipe and put me right downstairs on my legs. And I was all right then. I look upstairs and look up my sister's room, and the fire was already there. Well, it was already in my room when I when I wake up. That's why if I did try to get through through my door, I wouldn't be here today. You know.
So how did your mom took that after that? Over the years after.
Well, I can't really say my mom, but every time I think about it, I still feel like if I could have done more. Which way I couldn't, you know. I think about it in my brain, loads and loads of time. I didn't hear my sister scream or nothing. I might be by the time I reached down there, because they was in the center of the stairs going up, you see. So my room was like, you see, like there, round the corner. So, and yet my room was burned. And if a fire coming straight at you, you expect you go through that door first, innit? So I might be there. Was that was a sad day.
And your dad, how did he handle it?
Well, he get loads of cut with the glass when he jumped when he jumped through the window. You see, you know. So they have to take him to check up on all these things to see that he was all right. But I don't think none of us ever get over it, to be honest.
Okay. So you work now. You're saying the second job. It was not the second job after. Where did you live after after the fire? Where did you
After the fire, we live on Clement Road.
all of you together again? Where?
Well, I still live with my mom on Clement Road.
Okay. Mom and dad.
My mom and dad on Clement Road.
And your brother as well?
And my brother, no, I think my brother find his own way then, and I think after leaving Clement Road, I think I start, going out with girls and, start staying out until when I get on my feet. And that's when at the time I was going out with a girl, and she ended up being my first wife.
Okay. So where did you meet this girl?
Oh, I met her at a dance. We've been going out for a while.
How long is a while?
I would say might be 2-3 years.
Okay.
And we was going out for.
So you used to live with her?
I used to live with her. Yeah. I think we lived with her after we get married, because
No, before you get married, you used to live with her?
I can't remember when I was living with her, but I know we used to say a lot of one another.
Okay.
I can't remember if I
Then you fall in love and get
Yeah, you fall in love, get married.
and have kids?
Yeah, I have 2 kids with her.
Okay. And that was a happy life?
At first.
Okay.
Yeah, everything. It's after the fire, then I realized that I will get married to her, because, as I said, when the fire, everything I had got burnt. And sometimes I used to wear her jeans. At first I did have to wear her jeans until when I could get back on my feet, because all my birth certificate, all those things did get burnt in the fire, everything, passport, everything, because the room was a right mess.
Wow.
And then, but lucky thing, as I said, that my room was insured. And I get a bit of money, and in them days houses was pretty cheap. And
Wait, what you mean people don't insure rooms back in those days?
well, I did insure mine. My mom house was insured, and I used to join United Friendly.
Okay, what's that?
It used to be an insurance.
And you insure your room?
I insure my room.
I never heard of that yet.
Yeah, you never. Yeah, but the trouble thing, I'm going to tell you a story, and this is the God Almighty truth. I used to, when I was young, I used to knock about with this guy, I used to go and call for him on a Friday. He used to be my best mate, and we used to go all over the place together. So one day I went to his house to call him on a Friday, and his mother called me and said, she used to call me, Popeye. So I said, yes. She said, and this is what she said to me, Popeye, have you got your room insured? I said, no, I don't got my room insured, because my mom insured the house. She said to me, oh no, your room need insured, not your mom. You say your mom insured the house, but your room insured. So anyway, I know the insurance man, United Friendly insurance man, used to call around on a Friday. So the following Friday, I wait for the insurance man. And when I went home, I said to my mom, a couple of days before the Friday, before the insurance man called, and I said to my mom, can I get my room insured? She said, if she don't know, you can ask the insurance man when he comes. Anyway, the insurance man said, yes, you can insure your room. So anyway, I paid the first £1. And would you believe it? After I signed the paper, pull up everything, the house got burnt down, because that lady said to me, I must go and get my room insured.
How many months or years after you insured the house?
The house burnt down. If I tell you this, you will not believe me. Was the house burnt down in less than 2 weeks after I finished farming and everything.
What?
After that lady said to me, go and get your room insured. And he insured me room at the time. I think it was £5,000 in them days.
Yeah.
Because in them days, you got 50 pence was a hell of a lot of money. Because at the time your wage was £7.50 a week.
Yeah.
That's I remember that. In the 70s. And I use that, I get the £5,000 and I bought a house with that.
Oh, you bought a house?
I bought a house. That's when I got married. That's why I said, I get married to my wife, to my girlfriend. Then I bought a house on 155 Beresford Street.
Where is this?
That is Moss Side off Clement Road.
This is Manchester.
That is Manchester, Moss Side. Yeah. And we get married, but unfortunately, we never lasted. We got divorced. So.
What, you cheated on her or something?
No, but well, I never cheated on her.
Okay.
I didn't cheat on her. But there's certain things what she expect, what we both expect of each other. It never happened, so I just leave it as that, you know.
After you get married, how long marriage last, you said?
Well, let's say I have my first child. When I had my first child with her, we weren't married. But when I had the second child, we was married.
Okay.
And I think when me and her split up, I think my first child was about 7. And my second child might be about 4 or something like that. I cannot remember. I would have to go and check it.
Okay, yeah, I understand.
Check
yeah,
it out. But one was about 7 and one about 4 at the time.
So, were you hurt about it, like being
Yeah, well, you must hurt. Yeah. And we used to be like Tom and Jerry. You know. So at the time, you see, I did buy the house before we were married. So they couldn't, they wouldn't give me my divorce. And they can't kick her out the house because we got the 2 kids. And they can't kick me out the house because
you bought it.
it's my house. So today, I said instead of both of us staying there and before we hurt one another, it's best if I walk away. Which way I did. I went back to my mom, and that was one of the most, to me, one of the most embarrassing thing I did have to do, and I'm not ashamed to say it, is to go back after you're married, to go back and ask your parents if you can have a room back in their house. Because they would not give me my divorce until when I leave, you know. Yeah. So I tell them, anyway, today and I decide to tell them that I'm leaving the house, and then I sign the divorce paper, and we both get our divorce.
You were saying your brother used to drive for someone?
Yeah, my brother used to drive for the Sweet Sensation. Well, at the time, they was called the Sweet Sensation, but they weren't very famous.
Yeah.
And it was once when my brother was driving the group.
Who was the Sweet Sensation? To people who don't know.
It's Sweet Sensation, I can't remember, but I know one of them, I went to school with him, we used to call Leroy Smith. He used to play the organist. He passed away now, but he used to play the organ in his Sweet. A lot of people in Manchester will remember his Sweet Sensation. They sing, they make #1 record called "Sad Sweet Dreamer."
Okay, those are.
Yeah, and my brother used to drive them before they become famous.
Oh, before they.
Before they become famous, but they did call it Sweet Sensation, but they weren't famous. But when my brother was driving. It was 4 of them into his car, driving 4 of them to Scotland. He had an accident in going up to Scotland, which 2 of them got killed.
What?
Yeah, 2 of them got killed in the car. And
2 of the band?
2 of the
group?
2 of the band,
members?
2 of the band members at the time got killed. And then after they got killed, they reformed with different, you know. And that's
so
when
it was a bad crash up with.
It was a very bad crash because 2 got killed, and yet again my brother did not get a scratch.
What? He was driving.
And he was driving, and the next guy he have to have a pin in his leg.
Yeah.
So 2 die. The next guy get hurt, and my brother did not get hurt neither.
Where were you? The guys I'm sitting, the one who died. Both of them.
I don't know where they was sick because I said it was in Scotland. I wasn't there, but I know 2 of them definitely got killed in it.
So when you heard the news that your brother was driving someone, You thought your brother died or something?
To be honest, you know, I cannot I can't remember if it was before the fire or after the fire, but I imagine it will be after the fire
Yeah.
when that happened. But I can't really remember when that. But I remember definitely. So that did happen, you know.
So how was your brother mood after that?
Well, I don't know. I cannot tell. I could, you know.
You can't remember?
I can't remember. I can't
Was
remember.
he a tough man, your brother?
Well, yeah, he must be, innit?
Yeah.
He's got to, because I know definitely two got killed. You know, a black guy got killed and a white guy got killed in it, and the next black guy that was in it, that was in the passage. I don't think he was definitely in the group, the next guy, but he was definitely in the car as well.
Yeah.
He's the one who got the pin in his leg, but my brother did not get hurt.
Wow, not a
You know,
scratch.
not a scratch, no.
Yeah. Where are we at the moment? Where are we doing this interview for people who don't know?
We're doing this interview in Jamaica
Okay.
at the moment.
Have you visited Jamaica much over the years?
Well, let's say I've been to Jamaica just before 91, before my dad died, and I've come 91 when my dad passed away. I came over here to my niece's wedding. Then I came here to Jamaica when my brother passed away, the one that of the accident, and I also came here when my mother passed away. So you can say,
Did your parents came back to Jamaica then, you said?
yeah,
Alright.
they both came back to live in Jamaica.
For how long they lived there?
My dad came back to live in Jamaica, but he never lived long.
Yeah.
He never lived long in Jamaica before. I think he only lived here about 4 years when he came back over here to live. He was only a young man when he died, because my dad born 1923
Yeah.
and he died 1991. So if you had from 23 to 91, he's only about in his 60, I think, you know, if you had that up.
Okay.
So my dad would have been 100 years coming next year. Because about 1923 and next year 19, you understand? So my dad died over 30 odd years now.
So you saying your mom and dad came over?
Yeah, they both went back. They both came back to Jamaica.
Yeah.
But somehow my mom, when she came over here, she was walking around with no shoes on. As I said, she's a diabetic, and a nail went into her feet.
Yeah.
You know, and we never know. The children, they never know in England that my mom got hurt.
Yeah.
So I think some of the grandchildren said my mom is very ill over here. They're trying to amputate my mom's legs.
Wow.
Well, I know my mom worked in England at the hospital.
Yeah.
So we went to the hospital and said to the hospital, if we bring her back over here, which were my brother at the time and my sister came over here. I did not come because you need someone to stay over there to pay the fare, you know. And I'm the one who fought to pay the bill. I would have paid £1 million to get my mom back over there at the time. Anyway, my mom came over here. They wanted to
Came back to England.
yeah, my brother and sister came back to over in Jamaica and bring my mom back to England.
Okay.
And we get her in the hospital there. And believe me, when I have a look at my mom's leg, and they wanted to amputate her leg over here. Anyway, they saved her leg in England. But only one thing, right at there was a big hole, you know, a little hole like that in my mom's leg. But at least it healed,
Yeah.
and she walked. And my mom lived about 30 odd years after that.
Okay.
You know, my mom lived 30 odd years, which way if we leave her over here, they would have cut her legs off, and maybe she would have lost her life. If you understand me, but I said my mom lived 30 odd years after all that happened.
What year your mom died?
My mom died 2011.
2011.
Yeah, and she born 1926.
Alright.
So she was in her 80s, I think, just gone 80s odd when my mom, and lived longer than, way over my dad, you know. Yeah, so.
So Jamaica, when you come back to Jamaica, did you say, "Boy, I might move back to Jamaica"? Anything? That ever pass in mind?
In my mind,
Yeah.
no. I to be honest, I don't think I could really live in Jamaica. I'll come on holiday, enjoy myself over here. But to say to live here, because I live in England from I was 13 years of age. I know I'm 71 years of age. You know, I do. I do not know Jamaica.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know anyway nothing about Jamaica. So no, I think I'd rather stay in England where I am at the moment. I'm quite happy over there because yeah, it's a nice country, England. You know,
Yeah.
it's a nice place to live.
At the moment, you're in Jamaica. Are you enjoying yourself now?
I'm enjoying myself, but it's just a bit too hot. Away from the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything is fine. Yes,
Yeah. What about
yes.
the food?
All the food is brilliant, brilliant.
Drinks?
Drink, a nice bit of rum is great.
Yeah.
You know, you need to have a drink a bit of rum over here. It's brilliant. Everything is lovely over here.
Have you seen the violence in Jamaica from you being here?
I haven't seen no violence, but I heard a lot of it on the news and away from what I've seen. And I think the driving over here, you know, I don't think I could drive. I would have to live in this country for a while before I really have the nerve to go and drive,
Yeah.
you know. And I know I'm a very good driver because I've been driving over well over 40 years. But over here, I don't think they take the road thing very serious, you know. It's just everybody just seem to be going too fast for my liking. That's my opinion, you know. I'm not saying they are bad drivers, but
Yeah.
my opinion, that's, you know, yeah.
You walk on the road, you walk through towns and cities and whatever. Anyone ever like want to rob you or do anything like
No.
this in the news?
No, I've never, nothing like that ever happened.
Have you been to Jamaica a few times?
I've been to Jamaica a few times,
And nothing
yeah.
like that never
And
happened?
nothing ever like never happened to me, no.
Right.
Nothing.
So you think it's just a myth they're saying all this?
Yeah, it's just might be actually some people must be very unlucky when things happen to them. I don't know. I'm not saying not going to happen to me, but it hasn't happened to me yet, and I hope it don't ever happen.
Have you ever get mugged in England before?
No, I've never get mugged.
Or something bad ever happened to you otherwise from?
No, nothing ever really bad ever happened to me because I've got some very good friends in England. No, nothing like that. Away from when I said I was younger and I used to go to school, we used to have a problem with that one teacher.
Okay, that's it.
You know, yeah.
Alright. So are you enjoying yourself in Jamaica?
Oh yes, I tell everyone if they want to have a nice holiday, just come over here. But don't forget when you come over here, you have to drink a bit of rum, and that will keep you nice and cool.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
So are you married at the moment?
Yeah, I'm married. Yes.
With other kids?
Yeah, I've got 2 with my first wife and 2 with my second wife. I've got one will be 50 in September here coming, and the next one with about 40 something.
What do you mean? Fit? Like
My
50?
my first daughter is 50 in September. Is 50? Yeah, she was born in. Yeah, my first daughter.
Gosh, you look so young. It's a
Right.
50-year-old child.
Yeah, 50. She'll be 50 in September, coming the 28th of September.
So what's the secret?
I don't know. A lot of rum, a lot of drinking, because you have to drink to survive. Really cold over there, you know. But I know in England I drink a lot, mostly whiskey.
Yeah.
But when normal here in Jamaica, you know, I drink the rum.
Have you had any illness?
Away from, no, not really away from, I'm a diabetic. That's all illness I've got. But as I said, in England,
Type 1 or type 2?
type 2. And away from that, you get good medication in England, so.
So explain to people what's a type 2 diabetes.
Type 2 diabetes, where you have to, if you don't control your diet,
Yeah.
you find out your eyes go a bit blurry and things like that, and then you know it upset your organ inside, and it's best for you to make sure you go and take regular blood tests. If you know.
Do you exercise?
I do a lot of exercise. I go to the gym like 4 days a week.
Wow.
You know, I go a bit of swimming, because everything is in England here. You know, I do a bit of swimming and a bit of sauna and things like that. Yeah.
So that help you?
Does that help a lot? Yeah. And I wish where I test me sugar level all the time, because I've got a machine. You go to over, the doctor give you the machine in England. You know, or you can buy them yourself and check your sugar level. Once it's not over 8 or things like that, best to keep it under that number. You know, the lowest you can get is 5. You can get it to 5 and keep it between 5 and 6 is brilliant.
So are you taking tablets or what?
I take tablets, and I'm also take insulin.
Insulin.
Yeah.
The injection, like.
And the injection, yeah.
Alright.
So now I'm over here, I bring it with me, you know, I take it, and then I only take that once a day. I take it like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I don't take it again till the following morning.
When did you find out that you have that diabetes?
I think I found out in 2000 when I found out. I just started losing weight, and when I mean losing weight, I was like skeletal, you know. Yeah, and even the doctor at the time never. I don't know if I used to go to them or not at that time, but I went there to. Someone said to me, "Oh, you're losing so many weight." Anyway, I decided to go to the doctor, and that's when they test me, and they say, "Yes, you are diabetic." And then they start giving me the tablets, and then I start putting my weight on, and this is what I say, look now, you know.
So, are you supposed to be drinking in here? Let's go back into that.
I'm not supposed to be drinking, but if you got to drink, I mean, you're not because you're diabetic, that don't mean you can't be drink. That's cheap, they just go and take you and bury you there and done. You know, you got to do something to survive, you know. Once you don't make a meal of it.
So what about your wife? Is she upset that you drink?
Well, it's funny thing when I don't drink a lot when I'm home, but when I was younger, no, she don't upset at all. You know, she might say to me, "Stop drinking," but you know, I don't take no notice of her. To be honest, you know, which way I should have. But I just say you got to have a drink. If you don't have a drink, you got to eat, haven't you? Yeah. Everybody got to eat. Somebody got to drink. So once you don't overdo it,
yes,
that's how I look at it.
So you keep your. Like, you seem like you're in good health and that.
Well,
you watch what you eat.
I watch what I've eaten. Yeah.
Like what do you cut out?
Well, if it's best if you can cut out all the starchy food, like, you know.
For instance, you're teaching people now. Go on.
The yam, those is starch. Got a lot of starch in it. It's best if you could get like potatoes and things like that. Those are good meal for you to eat. Potatoes, you know. But anything that have a lot of starch in it. Rice got a lot of starch in it, or something in it, and things like that. You know, when I used to go to the only thing when my doctor used to say to me not to eat a lot of it is mangoes. I don't know why, but I love mangoes, you know. And I know in England I don't eat a lot of mango because you can't afford to buy it over there because it's so expensive, you know. But away from that, now I'm in Jamaica, and I come when the mango season is over, so I'm still not eating any.
So overall, you think you had a happy life?
Oh, I have a quite happy wife since I get married second time.
No, happy life.
Yeah, happy life, yeah.
And happy wife.
Happy, yeah. That's what I said. Since everything's brilliant since second. Yeah, everything is brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're happy.
I'm happy, quite happy.
What legacy you like to leave for like your younger generation and your family? So when you pass and gone, like 50 years after this.
50 years from now.
Yeah.
Have respect
Yeah.
to the elder,
Yeah.
like I did when I was a kid. Because these days now we look at these kids, and if you say a word to them, they're ready to beat you up or do something. You know, have respect to your parents, the most of all your mother, because sometimes when your father gone and leave you, your mother never do. So I tell you, all these youngsters, no matter who you are, always respect your mother. If you ever respect your father, which way you should respect both of them, but your mother come first.
Just never like you old man. You old man too wicked to we.
That's your father?
Yes, sir. And go so bow. And he head back as a boss.
Yeah.
And we bow on me go so. And look on the policeman said, don't do it again. You know, give me a picture puppy man, you know.
Yeah.
He give me a bench warrant. If me dead, when I go there tomorrow and I dead, me I go dead, you know. But yeah, no. That's my intention. Me do no wicked, me do some cool thing when I youth. You understand?
Yeah.
The anything a man love him do it, you know.
Yes.
He have to have it.
Yeah.
So me love the cutlass, it's better than the gun.
He left and decided to live in England, and then I certainly went to England with that drive, that I wanted to do well academically. Because I was in the top class, there was a set curriculum that we all had to follow. But I certainly wouldn't mind to be an advisor to the minister. Jamaica is home. And also I find Jamaica to be so different to the rest of Ireland. I have never, ever had any experience like that in Jamaica. I think Jamaica is one of the most fantastic places in the whole world.
I was riding a bicycle delivering my juices and my food round town. And I came up with a power punch with pumpkin seed, peanut, a little. While you're at work, the food don't even finish assimilating yet. So the body fails to function normally and does not produce its own pancreatic juice, which is called insulin. She said, look on my face. Me I breathe good. You know what? True medicines are judged by the quality of the results, not by the promotion that is obtained.
It's me alone find the masjid for myself. Him direct me.
And where was this?
It was at Windsor Road in Spanish Town. And I say, why? The woman they have bomb in her bag, We not walk near her at all, man. To me, I see Islam as a true way of life. Before the day finish, Allah provide something for me. Buy from me and say that it tastes different from the Christian chicken.
We would get bottles at night and fill them with Peeny Wallies. Said, yes, I know him, that's my stepfather. And that was when they allowed him to come in. I realized I was way above their expectations. And he had a son, and we started going out together, and he was my first boyfriend. I was very sociable, and they'd never quite met anybody like me. He had met a whole bunch of these Jamaican men, and they were just partying, having fun. Never, never. How could I live in a place like this? So salubrious, so beautiful, so exquisite.
People in the club not really have the same mindset what me have. Me is, for people, me is more a community person. I want to see this community better and try to make this beach what it's supposed to be. Because this beach can generate a lot of income for a lot of we in our community,
Yeah, man, and we chop you out, we wake you up, we not get no pay from nobody. We just do it on our own.
If you can't help, we don't help. We don't want no money from you. But if you can't give us something to fix up a place, then
it's a beautiful environment. So we're there and we are doing what we can do what is possible. We need help, because we don't have the cash.